I think some of my favourite games in my Nintendo Switch collection are the games that I knew nothing about, took a chance on and ended up loving. In the last month I have picked up a bunch of games. Some have very quickly become favourites, some are hidden classics, and some, well, I'm still trying to figure them out. Let's have a look and see what I've picked up and see if they're worth putting into your collection. Recently I did a video on games that I keep coming back to, and one of the titles I mentioned was Ball X Pit, or Ball Pit, and this game I knew I was going to love. So this combines Vampire Survivors with good old Breakout or Alleyway, whichever way you want to put it. So you are a little character with a ball hitting all of these monsters that are coming down. You pick up XP, you get randomized balls, randomized combinations just to make yourself more and more powerful. This game has more or less constantly been in my Switch. Whenever I've had a spare 5-10 minutes, I've played Ball X Pit. Then I went back to Loop Hero and that just threw things for a loop. Quite literally. This is just one of those games that honestly as quickly became one of my favourite pickups for this year. It is absolutely exceptional and I know I'm just going to get hours upon hours upon hours out of it. It took me back to the good old days playing Vampire Survivors and then jumping into Hollow Cure. This game honestly is a fantastic release and I'm really excited to play more of. Another game I'm really excited to play more of is Disco Elysium. 100% honesty here, at recording I have not had a chance to play it. I've heard nothing but great things about this one. I've got a feeling this is going to be one of those games that is going to very quickly be a favourite in my collection. Now, I picked this one up. It was technically a hunt. I went to SunnyCon Anime Expo and on the way out I thought, you know what, I'll stop in that retro game shop in Newcastle. He had this, 25 quid. I was like straight away, yeah, this is going in the collection. I can't wait to play it. I've heard the less you know about this one, the more exciting. Is this going to be one of my favourite titles of the year? Who knows? I'm looking forward to trying it out. Next up is a classic. Oh, it's 3 classics all in one. Now, I actually own this on the PlayStation, but as I'm downsizing my PlayStation collection, I thought I'd pick this one up and it was on sale, finally. This is a game that was on sale initially, but then kind of started going up in price, so I thought, yeah, it's not getting sales often, I'll pick it up while I can. Tomb Raider 1 to 3 remasters. Now, I heard when this first came out it had a few bugs. I've heard that it has been patched, so yeah, while it's on card I'm probably going to have to do some kind of updating and stuff like that. But this is the first 3 Tomb Raider games on the Switch. Fantastic. Interesting enough, the one I own on the PlayStation is a PlayStation 4 version. If you want to go for trophies, each Tomb Raider has its own trophy list on the PlayStation 4. On the PlayStation 5, it's all one big trophy list. That's why I got on PS4, because I thought it's not really going to be much different. But I'm going to sell that, get this one. It's Tomb Raider, fantastic games. I've not really delved much into classic Tomb Raider. I played a lot of Tomb Raider 3 back in the day, but I've never ever played the second one at all. So these are somewhat new for me. Next up is Nintendo's big release for the month, and it is Star Fox. Now, I'm going to be 100% honest here. Star Fox is not a franchise that I absolutely adore. It's one that I have had some memories with, but if you guys have been following my N64 collection, I don't actually own Star Fox or Lilac Wars in the UK on the N64, which is probably going to change now that I've got it on the Switch too. Of course, this is a remake of that N64 classic and isn't the first time we've had this one again, but I'm looking forward to trying it out. I've heard nothing but great things about it. It is a franchise that I like playing. It's just not one of my favourite Nintendo franchises, and it's one of those ones where I'm kind of like, I like this, but I'm not going to kind of like obsess over it. Maybe this will change it. How are you enjoying Star Fox? Let me know. The next game was 100% a blind buy. Amazon had this on discounted and I thought, you know what, I'll try it out, and I'm quite glad that I did. This is a Tiny Stickertail Magic Book Edition, or a Tiny Stickertail. Now, You guys remember the old days of getting sticker books and, you know, buying packets of stickers and sticking them in the sticker book. This has kind of took me a little bit back to that. Of course, you don't have the random gambling aspect of buying sticker packs. You get the stickers as you go. It also reminded me a little bit of Sticker Star, except it doesn't have that combat, and it purely is using the stickers to solve puzzles and stuff like that. This is a game probably designed for a younger generation, but it is also designed as a cozy release. I've been enjoying myself with this one. It's not a long game from what I understand. I've heard it's about 2 or 3 hours, but you know what? Some of the absolute gems are little short trips around the gaming world. Another title that I'm really looking forward to trying out more, and one that I'm really glad I took a chance on. Another game that I took a chance on, and this is purely because this publisher has had a lot of great hits, and that title is Little Kitty Big City. Now, this is a title that came out, I think, maybe last year, and almost instantly sold out and then became incredibly expensive. Looks like they've had a bit of a restock. It wasn't cheap, but it wasn't the stupid prices it was commanding online. I could basically put it this way, I could literally take this to CEX and make a profit on it if I wanted to. Yeah, this is Little Kitty Big City. This is about a little cat in a big city. I haven't played it, and the reason I got it, Fangamer. I'm going to say it now, I think I'm going to go for a full Fangamer collection because it's a nice subset to collect. Pretty much every single game so far is a winner, and while I haven't had a chance to play this one, I am looking forward to it. Maybe after I've finished a few others in the backlog, I think I'm going to try and get this one, because again, I've heard this is a very short game, so another short trip, maybe back to back with sticker game. I think it's going to be a good one. Have you played it? Let me know in the comments. Another game that came as a recommendation got reduced down by Amazon in their sale, and I thought I'd pick it up. Disney's Illusion Island. Now, this is a game that I know came out about 3 or 4 years ago at this point. However, one of my friends, he said it's always worth a try. It's worth picking up if you can find it cheap. I found it cheap, so I picked it up. I've heard it's a bit more of a Metroidvania platformer type title, and I've heard it's a pretty good game. I remember watching Inugami Korone play it a few years ago, more or less when it released, and she seemed to be having a really good time with it. Will it be a jewel in my collection? I'm not sure, but it's always nice to have more choice. And the Disney games, well, they usually end up being pretty decent in their own aspects. This is one where I remember getting pretty favourable reviews, except for maybe 1 or 2 which absolutely slated it. So yeah, it's one that I'm looking forward to trying out a little bit more. Speaking of Disney games, the next game is another Disney game, and this is one I picked up because I thought it might get quite hard to find later on. Disney's Afternoon Collection. Now, I haven't really bought many of the other Disney collections. I know there's a Aladdin, Lion King and Jungle Book bundle which I am looking to pick up, and I know in the future we are getting a Toy Story one, and a few people I know aren't a huge fan of these collection games where it's, you know, a bundle of old games slapped onto a cartridge at full price. But you know what? The Disney Afternoon Collection has always been titles I've actually wanted to play. We've got DuckTales, we've got Chip and Dale, we've got Darkwing Duck, we've got Tailspin, and we've got Bonkers and Goof Troop. Now, a lot of these titles are actually cartoons that I used to watch back in the day. I remember getting up early and flicking on the TV and watching them very early Sunday morning. Disney Afternoon, it was Sunday morning for me. I think Disney Afternoon might be more of an American thing. But yeah, like DuckTales, I remember playing the remake of it. Chip and Dale, I've always heard good things about. Goof Troop, I've always heard good things about. These are going to be games that I'm going to sink a few little hours in here and there. I've definitely already sank a few hours into the DuckTales one. A very nice little release. At the end of the day, if you work it out, there's like 2 DuckTales games on here, I think, if I remember rightly. Yeah, so you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 games. If you say £5 each, you're laughing. They're just the NES games with a few little things here and there. Kind of wish that they did put the remake of DuckTales on here as well. Would have been a nice addition, but I'm not going to complain. A very nice addition for a nice collection of games. So, I've talked about Amazon sales and stuff like that to buy a few blind purchases of games that I've had recommended and stuff like that. But another sale happened, and that was the Super Rare Games sale. Now, this is going to be an interesting one because I picked these up blind. I didn't know anything about the games, but I picked up enough that I got them for about £20 each. So, you know what, I thought we'd try them, and that's part of the discoverability about the purpose of this channel. Discovering games that people may not have mentioned elsewhere. Discovering new gems for my collection, and hopefully you guys can find them too. Super Rare Games is a little bit annoying because it's a limited release thing, so if you want them, now's the chance to get them, but I think a lot of these may have sadly kind of came and gone. The first game is Melatonin. This is a rhythm game, and if I'm honest, I'm not good at rhythm games. I'm honestly pretty terrible at them. It did its job. It was a rhythm game. It wasn't anything particularly special, but it also was a nice, comfy enough experience. Rather short though, a rather short game, but I did enjoy my time with it. It was just kind of one of those ones where I was just like, oh yeah, it's probably not first on people's list, but this is one of those games where I would say if you see it super cheap, pick it up, but you might not see it super cheap anymore, annoyingly. Next up is a game that I really wanted to enjoy, and I think if I sank more time into it, I'll enjoy it a little bit more. Siralim Ultimate. Now, this is kind of a dungeon crawler slash monster collecting game, and I'm going to be honest, this game was absolutely overwhelming. I'm going to be honest, some of these games you can tell that they're done by indie developers, and you kind of look at it in another way. This is somebody's hopes and dreams put onto a cartridge, and I can't hate it for that. It was a little bit overwhelming. I followed the tutorial, and then I literally got absolutely destroyed by the first monster in the game. So yeah, it's one of those ones, I'm going to go back to it. I just felt a little bit overwhelmed by all the tutorials because it was text tutorials and stuff like that, and I just kind of felt, I feel like once I get into this is going to be a game that I'm going to really absolutely love, but it was just a little bit intimidating at the time. Simple as that. The next one, again, I sank some time into this and quite enjoyed it, was Moonstone Island. This is the one I kind of was like, I wasn't as fussed about. However, I kind of realised that I was like, I had basically 141 to 147, so I was like, this is the missing piece. This is a comfy slice of life, you know, the kind of farming simulator kind of games where, you know, explore the new island and have a comfy time, but it's also got a little bit of a monster collecting genre in there as well. Again, this is another one where I just scratched the surface of, but I was very cautious because I know for a fact this game will suck me in. Next time I'm wanting one of them titles, this is going to be first on the list. I'm looking forward to trying it more. Next up is probably the one that caught my eye the most, and that was simply due to its visual style. The Pale Beyond. And this is a survival kind of game. So can you remember games such as like the Oregon Trail and stuff like that, where, you know, you kind of had like a group of people and you kind of had to survive them? This is very similar so far. There's a lot of, I would say, visual novel aspects. It really does manage to get you into the mood of being this kind of with this crew of people on this expedition to the Arctic and facing certain death. You're going to have to make some very difficult decisions on here. I am very much enjoying my experience. I've probably sank about half an hour, 3/4 of an hour into it. I can't wait to go back into this one. This is going to be one of those games that is going to be absolutely painful to play through, but I think it's going to be rather rewarding. It really does manage to get you into the atmosphere and everything like that. So it's one, if you can see it, I would definitely recommend at least checking this one out. And the next one is The Last Hero of Nostalgia Deluxe Edition. Now, this is a Souls-like game. I don't play many Souls-like games, and as soon as I booted it up, I was just like, yep, this certainly is a Souls-like game. I've not sank that much time into it. I think I got killed on like the second enemy, and I was just like, yeah, we'll try something else. But it is, again, another one I'm looking forward to trying out a little bit more. I'm not huge on Souls-like, so having one or two in the collection is going to be a nice break up from a lot of different titles. And I am going to go back to this one time and time again to at least try that Souls-like experience and try and work through me not particularly enjoying them, because all games are worth at least a try. And I think this is another one, again, if it was in the right hands, if somebody who loves Souls-like games, I think this is going to be a popular one. For me, not so much, but it's one I'm going to try a little bit more. So this is what I love about collecting for the Nintendo Switch. Like I said, I have blind bought, and I have kind of bought some of these purely because they were on sale. But I'm getting a bunch of different experiences. Melatonin, a rhythm game, is completely different to Last Hero of Nostalgia, a Souls-like game. The Pale Beyond is completely different to Tiny Sticker Tale. Little Kitty Big City is completely different to Star Fox. I'm getting a wide array of titles that I'm going to sit down and I'm going to enjoy playing through them. And I'm going to try and get back to you guys with them, because I have mentioned, oh yeah, I've picked this one up and had a try with it. I think I'm going through Dragon Quest VII Reimagined at the moment. I'm close to the end. So I think moving forward, I'm going to try and have maybe a wrap up every month or something like that about games I have played, whether or not they were worth playing, whether or not I enjoyed them, whether or not they're worth putting into your collection. And if you did like this, leave a like, consider subscribing. Let me know what you guys have been picking up over the last few weeks, because honestly, this has been a big haul, and I've got a feeling that the next few months are going to be even bigger. Stay tuned.